Welcome, fellow Toastmasters, and hopefully a few guests to our webinar contest here at Online Presenters. I don't think there's anybody visiting for the first time, but if you are, we do hope that you will come back, and this sentiment was actually just stated by Jim. If you're a past member, we miss you. I want to get to know you. So please, we look forward to seeing you at Online Presenters. We have a workshop on building your YouTube channel coming up on the 24th. So I know that that will be very interesting for all of us involved. Now, the webinar contest is not an official, I know you see it, Toastmasters contest. This is actually a format created by Online Presenters. So we're having something very special today for us to be able to try something different, something unique, something creative. Now, giving a speech or presentation online, as we all know, is not the same as giving a speech or a presentation on a stage. The virtual stage has different advantages and challenges. In particular, contestants will get extra points for creating engagement with the online audience and for the visual aspects of their presentation, which may or may not include digital tools that each speaker will utilize. Club President and David Carr did send his advertisement, but unfortunately he won't be able to be here. He sends his apologies for being absent and being unable to attend tonight. He's off plotting a series of these events, as well as some amazing educational features for online presenters. Keep in mind that our next webinar is July 15th, and I look forward to seeing more people involved once they've seen the one that we have tonight. Now, it will be open to contestants from both outside our club as well as our club, and we're planning one additional contest leading up to the runoff between the winners later this year. So you don't only get to compete in this one and win, but we're doing it, giving a demonstration on how it would go from the club level up to area, up to district. And of course, I have to throw in, I want an online district, and we couldn't be having an online webinar without me putting that out there. Now, this contest is one way that we're pursuing our mission of encouraging online presentations and excellence. All of our judges for this contest were drawn from outside of our club, although several are past members, and again, we do miss you. Yes, it's true, we might be trying to lure you back. Now, to tell you more about the rules of our contest, please help me welcome our Chief Judge, Carolina Ramirez. Make her feel welcome.
Thank you, Johnny. Welcome, everyone. The speaking order was determined in advance and will be: number 1, Graham Cairns; number 2, Rosemary Sweeney; number 3, Sunny Fritz; number 4, Sherry Blake. We will fall back on the official Toastmasters speech contest rulebook for determination of how to handle any disputes that should arise according to these proceedings. Jim Barber will assist me with interpretation of those rules if necessary. We didn't have the judges fill out paperwork because this is not an official Toastmasters event, but we are counting on them to judge this contest as fairly and impartially as possible. We're using a digital balloting system. The judges will not be anonymous. Following the contest, we will invite the judges to give some verbal feedback to the contestants as an additional educational opportunity that everyone here can learn from. Please keep your webcams on so the contestants know your reactions. Enter questions and comments in the chat. The speakers may specifically ask you to give them feedback or questions in the chat. They get extra points for creating engagement with the audience. Contestants have permission to use any digital tools they believe will enhance their presentation. They do not have to use any tech, but if they do, the judges will consider whether it was used effectively. Contestants make whatever use they would like of the virtual stage. Each speech will be timed for 5 to 7 minutes, including any Q&A or other audience interaction time. Contest speeches that are under 4 minutes and 30 seconds or over 7 minutes and 30 seconds will be disqualified. The timer should interrupt any speaker who goes past 8 minutes to keep the event as a whole on time. Our timer for this event will be Jim Galt. Jim, please, could you demonstrate how you will be sharing the timing signals?
Okay, absolutely. All the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. I'll turn on the green at 5. I'll turn on the yellow at 6 and the red at 7. You have a 30-second deviation at the beginning or the end to qualify. If you go up to 8 minutes, we might have to mute your mic. I don't know what'll happen. Madam Contest Master.
Thank you very much, Jim. If any contestant should have their internet connection fail, or if their video or audio quality degrades to the point that I judge them to be unable to continue and be fairly judged for their performance, we'll do our best to allow them to remedy those issues and continue their speech from the point at which it was interrupted. We will allow them that opportunity after the other contestants have finished speaking. If the speaker is unable to continue for technical reasons, judges may consider them based on the portion of the presentation delivered before those technical difficulties arose. Contestants are expected to deliver an original speech. Any quoted material or recorded video content should take up no more than 25% of the speech. Any challenges based on originality or any other violation of the rules should be addressed to me as a chief judge before the announcement of the winners. You can communicate with me via private Zoom chat. Once the winners are announced, the decision of the judges is final. Contest Master, we are ready to begin.
Thank you, Madam Chief Judge, for explaining that so well. Now, I know I didn't state before that the meeting is being recorded and your video and audio contribution might be used for club marketing purposes, but I'm going to make sure that I get that said so you get that out of the way and you know you might see your face all on the Online Presenters Facebook and YouTube channel. Just letting you get to know that. Are we ready, everyone? Remember, when it comes to a webinar, the only thing that we don't do is unmute and interrupt our contestants. As such, persons will only be admitted during our moment of silence, but also keep in mind that emojis are welcome. You're on camera. We want to see your expression. We want to see your applause. We want to see your shock and awe. And not to mention, put your comments in the chat because we do have a chat monitor who will also assist our webinar contestants if needed for what you place in the chat. So everybody, are we ready? Let me see a thumbs up. Let me see a thumbs up emoji. We're testing. Yeah. All right. Excellent. Let's get started. You've heard our speaking order. Contestant number 1, Graham Cairns, getting your point across how to deal with the media and get publicity for your idea, business, or community group. Getting your point across how to deal with the media and get publicity for your idea, business, and community group, Graham Cairns.
Thank you, Madam Contest Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. and most welcome guests. Nobody knows exactly who said it first, but there's a phrase which goes something like, news is what somebody doesn't want reported. Everything else is free publicity. Well, for most of us, free publicity is something that we want. And what I'm hoping to achieve over the next 7 minutes is telling you how to get that free publicity. In the next 7 minutes, I hope that you will understand the newsroom process, be able to identify the lead for a news story, learn how to write in the basic inverted pyramid style, and be able to draft a media release so that your organization, business, or idea can get free publicity. But first, let's discuss what is news. If a dog bites a man, that's not news. But if a man bites a dog, that's news. News is something that is different, something that is unusual, something that is relevant to the audience, and something that makes them go, ooh, I did not know that. When you're thinking about how you can get publicity, always bear in mind that news has to be something that appeals to the audience of the media organization you are pitching your story to. And don't forget specialist publications, but news must be something that is interesting. I spoke about the inverted pyramid, and the thing about the inverted pyramid is that when we write a story, normally we start at the very beginning. It's a really good place to start. You start once upon a time, then you tell the story, and then you end with a conclusion. With a news story, we do the exact opposite. We start with the most important things. 3 men died and 2 others were injured when 5 cars crashed in a fiery pileup on the Mount Gambier freeway at 7 this morning. Now, that contains all of the important information. It also contains the 5 W's and an H, the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and the how. And it all came up in the first sentence of that story. In a news story, you start with the most important stuff, so the thing that's going to get people's attention. Then you provide the crucial information. And then finally, you provide the stuff that, well, it can be cut from the story and it won't really hurt it. So that's how the pyramid works. It's like a funnel. You start with the most important things. You have, as I say, the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and the how, the 5 W's and an H. And they should all be answered in the first 2 sentences of your news release. So as I say, dog bites man, who cares? Man bites dog, that's news. News is stuff that is new and interesting and relevant to the audience of the publication. Always remember, news outlets are understaffed. They are chronically understaffed, they are under-resourced, and they are under pressure. Make it easy for them. If you're writing a media release about something that your Toastmasters club is doing, put in the most important and newsworthy information up front. What's in it for the audience? Are there pictures? Is there audio? Is there video? And can you be contacted? All of those things must be in your media release, or you're simply going to have your media release thrown into the circular filing system, which is also known as the waste paper bin. So, what's important and newsworthy? What's in it for the audience or the readership? Are there pictures, audio, and video? And can you be contacted? All 4 of those things should be in your media release. So, let me give you an example of a media release that you might write for your Lions Club, for example. Salisbury Service Club hailed as heroes by cyclone-ravaged school. That would be the headline. Salisbury Lions Club members have been praised by students of a tiny school in the Pacific Island nation of Vanuatu after donating school supplies to help them out in the wake of Cyclone Cedric. The Service Club's president, Alan Allenson, made the donations while on a pleasure cruise to the island nation last week. Mr. Allenson and his fellow members were hailed as heroes by the children after they raised $2,000 to help out after the Category 5 storm ripped through the region in March last year. The money was spent on books, pens, pencils, and other supplies that have been in high demand since Pam cut a swathe across the island nation. Mr. Allenson said he was proud to have been the bearer of the gifts as he'd cruised to Vanuatu before and had been made welcome by the friendly locals. Quotes, I was heartbroken when I saw the damage on TV, he said. So I organised the charity drive amongst my fellow Lions Club members. I'm certain that the supplies will go to good use and the joy on the children's faces was amazing, he added. Mr. Allenson said he was given a replica wooden sword by the children who described him as their hero. He said the sword would become a trophy for the best charity fundraiser in Salisbury Lions Club in the future. then you attach a copy of the picture of that replica wooden sword. You attach a picture of the children receiving the award. You attach, perhaps if it's a radio story, that radio station that you're sending to, you attach audio of Alan Allenson saying those sorts of things. And then you put the contact details. Contact Alan Allenson, mobile 0412 345 678, and email alan.allenson@allenson.com.au. You want to make it as easy as possible for the newspaper, the radio station, the television station to be able to take what you are giving them and turn it into a story with the minimum of effort. Never forget that news is a voracious maw just waiting to be filled. And if your organization, your community group, your business has something that is interesting, has something that can be made local, has something that can supply pictures and audio and video, then it's going to get a run, because it's got to be filled, and it's got to be filled somehow. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them, but also happy to give. Here's an opportunity for everybody who is here today. I'll put my email in the chat in a moment. And because you've come along to this webinar today, I am offering a free, no obligation 30-minute consultation with cairnscommunications.com. I will help you draft a media release for your group, for your business, for your idea. Just send me details. Details will be, as I say, in the chat. Madam Contest Toastmaster.
We will now have 1 minute of silence for our judges to mark their ballots. Thank you. Timer. Speaker number 2.
Tony, 1 quick second, can I interrupt you? Graham wasn't showing up in speaker view. Should he be showing up in speaker view, or should he be in the
Okay, could you say that again for me, Sherry?
When Graham was speaking, he wasn't in speaker view. He was part of the grid. Should he be like you?
Oh, you're in gallery view.
He's in, like, he was in gallery view. Like right now, I can, you know what I mean? You're in speaker view, you're pinned.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. And I think Tracy had said the same thing. She was recommending that you.
Okay, so where he was in the gallery view, what you would do is you would move over. However, moving forward, I'll ensure that we're pinned.
Right, I want to make sure it shows up in the video that way. So, okay.
All right, noted. However, what we can do, you know what, this is a little bit of a technical explanation. I mean, after all, it's an online contest. So when things like this happen, it gives us a chance for a learning experience. If you're not seeing the speaker, Zoom automatically highlights in speaker view. You go to view at the top of your screen and you can change from gallery to speaker. And from there, you will be able to see the speaker. The timer's hand being raised will mean that they will always be the first person in the view. But remember, you always have the option to pin, which is also located under the view option, or you can scroll over to the speaker and pin them for yourself if that will make it easier, okay?
Johnny, you could also click on multi-speaker. So you have speaker gallery multi-speaker, which gives you a look in larger elements as if they were spotlighted on the top and then everybody else is on the bottom.
Right. And that's the beauty of online presenter. See, never a dull moment and always a learning experience. And I do believe this gave contestant number 2 a chance to breathe. So I do believe, are we all set? Yes. I see the thumbs up emoji. Awesome. Contestant number 2, Rosemary Sweeney. Try a little kindness. Try a little kindness, Rosemary Sweeney.
Thank you and good night. Have you read the newspaper headlines recently of most Commonwealth countries? Gay marriages, ban on gay marriages overturned. And in my tiny little island, in April 2024, the High Court in the Commonwealth of Dominica deemed that a law written in 1873, which criminalized the consensual sex between two same-gender adults, was highly inappropriate and infringed on the rights of the people. This opened the floodgates of opinion, both for and against, and prophets of doom and gloom warned us that God would be angry with us and punish us. And my thought, why not try a little kindness? On the other hand, members of the LGBTQ were ecstatic and elated, and one member said, "This is our first step in the long road to freedom." And here again, I thought, why not try a little kindness? In my opinion, I wondered, why would a tiny island, less than 300 square miles, encourage its people to segregate from each other? Why would an island do that? Instead of encouraging us to be tolerant, understanding, and try a little kindness. Firstly, trying a little kindness, being tolerant does not mean that you give up your belief or you accept the other person's belief wholesale. No, it just means you value that person. You put a value on that person's opinion and you try a little kindness. Next, understanding. Try to understand the other person's beliefs, their opinions, their culture. What makes that person think that way? Not being harsh on that person, but giving that person the indication that you will help them and you respect them. Respect is not some lofty ideal. It is more than you value the person. It is showing that you understand that person, you respect that person, you value that person. More than just thinking of a pie in the sky, you show that person. And we are supposed to do that. Imagine some time ago, a guy walking merrily along his route, and another guy saw him walking and said, "Oh, he's gay." And he looked at me strangely. Do you know what that guy did? He crossed the road and killed the guy. Just because in his mind, whatever he was thinking was correct. We cannot tolerate those things. And why not try a little kindness? Kindness is what we should be giving to others. So being tolerant is okay. Being understanding is fine. But being kind to others, this epitomizes you as an individual. You do not just forsake someone because you think they think differently to you or they do not regard what you're saying, but you try a little kindness. And kindness can always come in all forms. Probably just listening One of those days I was going through town and it was raining. Stood up to shelter the rain. Here sits a homeless guy who I knew. So I told him, I haven't seen you in a while. My sister has me at her home. I said, so why are you on the street again? Because no one listens to me. I'm not happy there. Now the sister thought that being homeless, all he needs is a roof over his head. But to him, he needed something more than a roof. He told me, I have a good bed. I have a television in my room, but everybody's on their phone. Everybody just still looks on their phone and is away on the phone. And I am there and I feel lonely. Can you believe that? A person who is homeless is back on the street because he was placed in a home and he feels lonely. So I tell him, so why? So he told me, guess what? When he's on the street, people stop and they speak with him and they listen to him. He said, just like you're doing now. And I wondered, wow, when someone is at our home, we should also try a little kindness. And listening is one part of it because everybody wants to be heard. And so I encourage everyone here, I call you, whenever we meet people who do not share our beliefs, our ideas, our thoughts, that should not be a point where we disrespect them. Instead, we should be tolerant of them. We should try to understand them, and most of all, try a little kindness. In 1969, there was this song, Try a Little Kindness, and this really reflects exactly what I would be saying. And it goes something like that. The tune, you've got to try a little kindness. Yes, show a little kindness. Just shine your light for everyone to see. And when you try a little kindness, it will overlook the blindness of a narrow-minded people on a narrow-minded street. Let's not get caught up in narrow-mindedness. Let's give our brothers and sisters our kindness, our tolerance, and our understanding. Back to you, Madam Contestant.
We will now have 1 minute of silence for our judges to mark their ballots. Now, that's the joy of a webinar contest, is that we get to break the silence with fun ways that we could only do online. Now, as stated, we had 5 contestants. However, contestant number 3 is not currently available. So we will move on to contestant number 4. Contestant number 4, Sherry Blake. Let's talk self-care. Let's talk self-care, Sherry Blake.
Sherry, we
Sherry, you're muted.
I'll speak up.
Let's talk self-care. Self-care is a much needed practice that allows me to put my mental, emotional, and physical well-being first. To me, self-care means taking deliberate actions to nurture and protect myself. It encompasses things that recharge and rejuvenate me, such as running, getting adequate sleep, maintaining a balanced diet, and seeking support from friends, family, or even professionals. Also, self-care involves setting healthy boundaries, avoiding toxic situations, and saying no when necessary. Self-care is a continuous process of loving myself, setting aside time to relax, self-reflect, which leads to a happier and more fulfilling life. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 methods that can be effective in reducing stress and improving one's general health and well-being. These unconventional methods for peeling away the layers may not be all that popular, but they've worked for me. Throughout our busy lives, it is important to focus on self-care and seek moments of peace during the busyness. Let's explore these methods, each providing a distinct combination of relaxation and recovery. 1, consider the therapeutic potential of a photo shoot, where moments of joy, beauty, and self-expression are captured through photography, offering a powerful sense of empowerment. Whether you are the photographer or the subject of a photo session, it presents a chance to celebrate yourself, your loved ones, and the beauty that surrounds you. Type in the chat yes if you like to be the subject of photography. If you type yes, how does that impact you? All right, Joni, yes. Lillian Cook, yes. Sunny, yes. Wonderful. 2, keeping your living space clean might appear unexciting, yet it plays a significant role in enhancing mental clarity and emotional wellness. A neat and organized environment promotes a feeling of tranquility, enabling you to focus entirely on the present moment. Does a clean space make you feel joyful, happy, and/or having achieved a sense of accomplishment? Type yes or no in the chat. Yes, Steve, Jim, yes, yes. So a lot of you can appreciate having a tidy environment. Let's move on. 3, create a calming atmosphere for burning candles and infusing your space with delightful fragrances. The gentle illumination from the candles can swiftly soothe the mind and elevate the mood. Who likes to burn candles? Type yes in the chat if that's you. All right, Sunny likes candles. Very good. We'll move along. 4, although daydreaming may seem insignificant, it's a beneficial practice for enhancing creativity and reducing stress. Give yourself the freedom to let your thoughts wander, delve into new ideas, imagine your dreams, and immerse yourself in imaginary worlds. Embrace daydreaming as a type of meaningful meditation. 5, lastly, empty the nest. Although the idea of an empty nest might first bring about feelings of emptiness or sorrow, an empty nest can turn into a haven of peace and harmony. Embrace this new freedom by exploring your interests, taking spontaneous trips, or cherishing the quiet moments at home. Get those adult children out of the house. Let's settle here for a moment as I share my memories of when my nest became empty. It was one glorious Sunday morning when my son executed his departure plan. Now, don't get me wrong, he didn't leave on bad terms. It was just his time to spread those wings. When the day finally came, I was thrilled and excited. Initially, I thought him moving out was a bad idea, but let me tell you about the little things that changed my mind. The frequent dirty bowl and spoon left in the sink overnight, which somehow always escaped his attention. The stench I had to inhale as I passed by his room with that toxic blend of sweaty socks and gym clothes that was overwhelming. Or the pile of dirty clothes in his closet, like an ever-growing laundry monster invaded his space and triggered my frustration. And let's not forget about the loud discussions and noise shared amongst his gaming crew at the wee hours of the morning, making bedtime feel like sleeping at a rock concert. But now, with him gone, peace reigns. Let's pause here. How many of you have an empty nest? Type yes in the chat. All right. Yes. Graham and Nikki and Carolina, yes. An empty nest is the way to go. An empty nest can bring, well, mixed emotions. Type loss or loneliness if you are feeling this. In conclusion, these methods offer a holistic approach to stress relief. I challenge you all to try some of these ways of relieving stress. Back to you, contest chair.
We will now have 1 minute of silence for our judges to mark their ballots. Contestant number 5, Sunny Fridge. Everybody talks, presenting with confidence and ease. Everybody talks, presenting with confidence and ease. Contestant number 5, Sunny Fridge.
Have you ever been in a meeting or watched a presentation where the speaker's words seemed to get lost because their body language was all over the place? Maybe they fidgeted, avoided eye contact, or stood like a statue. Imagine you're giving an important presentation and your words are clear and your tone is confident, but your body language exudes anxiety. The audience might miss your message entirely. Hello, I'm Dr. Sunny, a presentation skills coach. I help nervous speakers overcome fear to speak with confidence and ease. And today we're going to unlock 3 keys to a powerful body language to ensure that your message is not just heard, but felt. We'll look at facial expressions, gestures, and posture. It was Paul Watzlawick, a theorist, communication theorist, who said you cannot not communicate. So no matter how you look, you are talking with your body. And body language is the process of communicating with non-verbal gestures through conscious or unconscious gestures and movements. It was Albert Moravian, a psychologist, who said 3 core elements in effective face-to-face communication of emotions or attitudes and movements are responsible for how we look at others when they communicate. As a matter of fact, according to Moravian, these 3 elements account for our perception of a person's words, tone of voice, and body language. In fact, only 7% of your words count, 38% your tone of voice, and 55% is your body language. So let's look at some body language of a speaker who was a guest speaker at an event.
When I was asked to be guest speaker at this luncheon, I asked myself this: who are you, Luther Higgs, to be a guest speaker at this luncheon? I thought about my answer about being a guest speaker for a long time. Well, what is a guest speaker?
As you can see, Don Knotts, maybe you know him as Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith Show, had a lot of challenges. Put in the chat some of the body language issues that you saw Don Knotts have. Let's see. Did anyone notice what he was doing? I noticed shakiness. Judge Chris says hands trembling, held onto the lectern, exactly, constrained arms, doing things that you don't want to do if you want to have good body language. Let's move on to facial expressions. It was Janet Lang who said, of all the things you wear, your expression is the most important. As humans, we obviously have a lot of facial expressions that we exhibit. So I want you to think about that. And I want to just do a quick little exercise. I'm going to say the emotion, and I want you that I can see to go ahead and exhibit it, if you don't mind. Hate. Hate. Oh, yes, Sherry, I love the look. Graham, woo. All right. Fear. Happiness. And love. They're kind of similar. Love. Love it. I love it. Thank you all. Make sure that you are mindful of the way that your face expressions are and that it matches your message. And one way you can fix your face really easy is with a smile. It's contagious. And when you smile at your audience, they often smile back at you. Also, eye contact, really important, especially in online meetings. Make sure that you know where to place your eyes to look like you're engaging. Make sure that when you are looking, you're looking at that webcam. If you don't mind, just point at your webcam. And if it's not eye level, that's what you need to look like you are really engaging with the audience. Now that we've talked about facial expressions, let's look at gestures. Numerical gestures are basic gestures. For instance, you can say, I have 1 takeaway for you, or I have 3 reasons why recycling is important. So make sure you use gestures to enhance your message. Sometimes you want to point, you want to tell this person you, but be careful. Doing those type of gestures can be considered offensive, and people also get defensive. So what do? You use open-handed gestures. Now that we've taken a look at some of the good gestures, let's take a look at a couple of the bad and ugly gestures. Put in the chat if you've ever been guilty of one of these gestures. Maybe taking your glasses on and off, messing with your jewelry, putting your hand in your pocket, messing with change. Let's see if someone said all of them. Yes, I can understand, especially twirling the hair. Lots of people have been guilty of doing that. So you want to be mindful and cut down on those distractions. Now let's look at posture. Posture, standing straight, face forward, feet planted, width apart, feet width apart. Very helpful. And when it comes to power poses, let's listen to Amy Putty, a social psychologist.
In our studies, if people stand like Wonder Woman for 2 minutes, their testosterone increases significantly, their cortisol drops significantly, they are more risk-taking. In other people's studies, we find that their pain threshold is higher, they think more abstractly, and they are more likely to do well in very stressful situations like interviewing for a job. Wonder Woman.
Wow, who knew Wonder Woman could be such an influence on young people as well as adults? How do you like my power pose? Just beware, I never wear this outfit outside of my house. And you too can strike a power pose. You can set a reminder on your smartphone. So to recap, body language is a powerful tool that can enhance your message or undermine it. Be mindful of your facial expressions as well as remembering the Moravian formula. I challenge you to take care and be mindful and take away one thing. Do you realize how loud their expressions really are? Be kind with what you wordlessly say because everybody talks. Contest Master.
We will now have 1 minute of silence for our judges to mark their ballots. We will now have an indefinite period of silence, after which our chief judge will break the silence and let us know when she and her counter would like to be moved to the breakout room. Well, fortunately, with having persons so used to the online space, this went really quickly and the indefinite actually didn't seem so in. Or is it definite? All right, everybody with me, especially the contestants. Are you ready? We're gonna do a sigh of relief. Self-care, power pose. Now, let me just say, kudos to everyone. But because we didn't get to applaud during the contest, this is where we all mute and we start the applause. I already see that the kudos are being put in the chat. Let's get our applause on. Woohoo! It is not easy being up here, right? See, I love that. Is it a track, a studio audience track? You don't get that in real life. That's the beauty of the online space. Now, before I get into our interviews with our contestants, because I know we're all dying to get to know the people who were brave enough to stand here and do such an amazing job, let me first say thank you to all of our judges. Now, the beauty of a webinar contest is we all see the judges as labeled. So we can say, thank you, judges. And some of our judges, like Fabiola Cleofa, and I know that our timer, as well as Chris Gold, I hope I got your name right, we're actually founding members of Online Presenters. So they're coming back home. And again, we miss you. We like having you a part, and we're glad that you chose to be a part of this contest. I know I remember virtual VTM Con. I remember VTM Con back in the day, but now we're going to try to do something different, creative, but that's still incorporated in the overall Toastmasters experience. So thank you for laying the groundwork for us online when there was no groundwork. This was pre-COVID, before anybody even thought of having meetings in an online space. Now, what would we do without having our online space for meetings, right? So everybody, let's do our round of applause and our studio audience again for our judges. Now, for all of our contestants here today, I know that you want to get to know them. Let's start with contestant number 1, Graham Cairns. Contestant number 1, please state what clubs with an S you are a member of.
How long do we have? Yes, when I'm talking Toastmaster, whatever, contest Toastmaster. I'm a member, obviously, of this club, charter member of Online Presenters. I'm also a member of Witty Storytellers, a specialist online storytelling club, of DJ and MC Toastmasters, made up entirely of disc jockeys and masters of ceremony. Unfortunately, it's just folded. In District 69, my home district, I'm a member of 4X, which is a club of which I am president. It's a lunchtime club, meets for an hour, hybrid club. I'm a member of Crest, which is a community club, meets twice a month at night. And I'm a member of Leading Edge, which is an advanced club. You've got to be a member of at least one other club, and you have to have completed at least one path before you can be a member of that club. So those are my clubs. Yeah, I'm a tragic.
You know what? Like Helen Blanchard said, if you get out of Toastmasters, all there is to get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. But I do believe some of us are addicted to Toastmasters, so we will do a lot of Toastmasters. Let me ask, what brought you to the online space, and what made you stay or fall in love with the online space?
I joined my first hybrid club when Pathways was being rolled out, because it was being rolled out in a couple of regions, a couple of divisions at least. Districts, that's what I want to call it. A couple of districts in North America, and I wanted to get an early start because I wanted to be one of those early adopters. So I joined a DTM Masters, which is a hybrid club, and I thought, I actually like this experience. I like the opportunities that being online give me. So I then joined a couple of other hybrid clubs and online only clubs, and I note that there are a number of early adopters of online Toastmastering here, which is great to see. One of my great joys in life, though, is this club in particular, because while I love hybrid clubs and I'm the president of one, I also genuinely love online only clubs because we learn to use this environment effectively. And we saw today varying levels of use of the technology, but we saw people who were using the online environment to its advantage. And that's what I love about online clubs, because if we continue to do business using yesterday's tools, we'll be out of business by tomorrow. And this is the best way of learning that.
Thank you for competing today, Distinguished Toastmaster Graham Cairns. Our second contestant, Rosemary Sweeney. Now, Distinguished Toastmaster Rosemary Sweeney, what clubs are you a member of?
Currently, I'm a member of 4 clubs.
4 clubs. See,
Yeah.
again, the addiction to Toastmasters. Some of us just get addicted and we do a lot of Toastmastering. What was your favorite moment online or in the online space?
My favorite moment in the online space was when we had a very destructive hurricane in my country and we could not meet as Toastmasters. And then we decided, that was in 2015, that was the first storm where a lot of places were destroyed, roads were washed away, and we could not get to our meeting room. And when we met on Zoom for that first time, it was really something else because we hadn't seen each other face to face for so long. And here it is, we were coming together on Zoom. It was very, very, I'll always remember that first meeting.
Well, as a fellow Caribbean national, most people in the US are separated by land, we're separated by water. It's a good way for all of us to be able to get together without having to do a lot of swimming. Yes, Andrew, that was actually a reference to your comment, without having to do copious amounts of swimming. Thank you for competing with us today, Distinguished Toastmaster Rosemary Sweeney. Our next contestant, contestant number 3, would be me having a they-them conversation because, well, they-them are not here. And therefore, to save everyone from having to see me interview no one, we will move on to contestant number 4. Contestant number 4 Sherry Blake. So, Toastmaster Sherry Blake, what clubs are you a member of?
I'm a slacker. I only belong to 2 clubs. So I belong to Successfully Speak Up Toastmasters and Online Presenters.
Okay, so 2 clubs. Don't worry, you stick around this crowd long enough, it's going to grow and grow and grow. Now, let me ask, what was your inspiration for your speech?
Oh, just everyday life, the things that we go through, the stress, knowing that we need to take care of ourselves. So as you know, Joni, I'm a runner. I've ran 2 marathons and I plan to run another one this year. And I also run shorter races like 5Ks, 10Ks, 10 milers. So I know the importance of having to take care of ourselves, especially as we grow older. And I just very often just need to refresh, detox, and just feel good about myself, my mental, my physical. So I just thought that this speech could inspire people to just take a step back to see how you're taking care of yourself in our everyday lives.
Okay, so other than remember to unmute, what's the difference between in-person and online speech presentations?
Well, there's quite a few differences. On an online presentation, I'm not really walking the floor, using the stage the same way where I would use the stage in person. Online, you can maybe use some notes where you may not want to use those in person. And the difficulties online versus in person is that you just have to make sure that you're engaging your audience, since you cannot really give direct eye contact to them. But, you know, overall, I like both. And I have to admit, I do prefer the online club. My other club is hybrid, and I never attend in person. I only attend online.
Okay, I fall in the same category. Once you go home, you never go back outside. But I too have fallen in love with the virtual space, so I can understand where you're coming from. Thank you for competing today, Sherry Blake. Now for contestant number 5, we have Sunny Fridge. Sunny, let me ask, what was your most embarrassing moment online?
That's a great question. What was one of my most embarrassing moments online? I can't remember so much an embarrassing moment, but this year when I was in a speech evaluation contest at the district level, I walked on the stage. I had been doing my affirmations. I looked into the audience. I visualized. I did everything I tell my clients and students to do. Get to the stage after shaking the contest master's hands. Hello, whoa, 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 whoa. The microphone was like I was at Yankee Stadium, and it threw me off. Then someone comes to fix my mic. What's a contestant to do? They made me start over. Meanwhile, one of my greatest fears is forgetting what I'm going to say. And so when I came back up, I don't think that my presentation was as good, my feedback was as good as I intended, but I did finish. So not so much embarrassing, but awkward. And sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. And I learned a lot from that.
I do believe that our best learning moments are the things that just did not go right, or they have to unmute and state, by the way, we're not during the middle of whatever you're doing. Those are the best learning experiences though, because it lets you adjust your sails. I completely agree. Now, let me ask you, what clubs are you a member of?
I'm happy to say I am a member of Online Presenters. In addition, I am a member of Early Riser Toastmasters in District 43, which compasses Mississippi, Tennessee, and Arkansas. And I'm also a member of Never Too Late Advanced Toastmasters. And finally, I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, so I am a member of Hawaii Entrepreneur Club. And I hope to get to Hawaii before the end of 2024.
Sounds like an awesome goal. I've been there virtually, but I can understand for those who like to pack, get on a plane, get there and unpack. Half the fun is being there in person. Let me say thank you, Dr. Sunny Fridge, for participating today. Now, just to state for everyone, to answer a few things in the chat, yes, Graham, I also call it failing forward. And no, the setup for the view, Zoom has updated, just so you know, plugging Online Presenters, we had a tech feature on that. The update and the new presentations that Zoom is doing with how it is set up. And I do believe that I would have disappeared because Zoom spotlights automatically. My camera is on another device that's different from my microphone. And as such, I have to be spotlighting. See the joy of Online Presenters? Tech tips. If you're on a mobile device, Zoom will, if you have multiple spotlights, still only highlight the speaker view. That's one of the fun things. It's why when you're alone and you're spotlighted, no matter what happens, you don't see anybody else. But if you're on a mobile device or you do not, or you're in gallery view, you'll notice that other people will pop up where they're not supposed to be. That's the fun of the online space. We get to learn, fail forward, go, next time I need to remember participant screen monitor is an essential role for webinar contests because somebody has to spotlight the speaker and unmute. And taking for granted that we might not have 2 or 3 or 5 or 1,000 people, this is where we practice so that when that is happening, we remember we always need a backup of somebody to do that role. We've sat through it. We've gotten the interviews, and now it is time to find out who the winners are. So help me welcome our chief judge.
Thank you very much, Sunny. I'm going to share my screen. Let me just, okay. Just give me one second. Awesome. First of all, I would like to thank our contest judges, Nick Lacani, past president of this club and creator of the BTMCon conference series, Chris Gold, charter member of this club, Fabiola Cleofa, charter member of this club as well, Richard Earthschick, Asil Boisanovar, Michael Alexander, Lillian Cook, and Mark Samet. An applause for them. Thank you very much. And now, the winners. Drums, please. Third place. And the third place goes to Graham Cairns. Congratulations, Graham. Second place, drums, please. Sunny Fritz. Congratulations, Sunny. And the first place goes to Sherry Blake. Congratulations to our winners. Back to you, Contest Master.
Thank you, Madam Chief Judge. And let me just say thank you to you for being our Chief Judge at this contest. And also thank you to David for putting everything together. Now, let me just also say, see, Nick Lacani, Richard, my apologies, I don't want to butcher your last name, and Asil, I haven't gotten the chance to meet you guys, so come back, visit Online Presenters. That way we can all get to know each other again. Thank you, everyone, because without an audience, there would be no contest. So thank you to all who participated and were a part of our contest today. I know return control. Well, technically David is not here, so I'm going to assume that I can pass it to our incoming president. Marianne, since our outgoing president is not here and you're here, can I pass control over to you now?
Sure.
Awesome. So I now pass control over to our incoming president, Marianne Grady.
Well, thank you all for coming and joining us this evening. We are so excited to see such a nice turnout. And as Joni mentioned, I'm the incoming president, so I will begin my term on July 1st. So we are trying some new things and experimenting an awful lot. So I hope you'll come and give us some feedback and see how we do. But I am really, really excited about the coming year and all the things that we have planning. So we're going to have our first meeting of the board coming up soon, and like transitioning the roles over. And after that, I hope that you will see things that you enjoy. So I think we are done for the night. Do we need to do anything else, Joni?
Maybe some feedback from our judges and guests.
Ah, good idea. Good idea. Sorry. All right, let's go back and hear from our judges. Asil, I'm so happy to see you. It's been a long time. Tell us what you thought of that meeting and the experience coming back.
First of all, I miss you all, and it's so great to see all of you. Thank you for having me today. And the contest was great. I learned a lot of things. So back to you, Marianne.
Thank you so much. Now, I didn't know Fabiola when she was a member of this club, but I met her through VTM Con. So Fabiola, tell us your thoughts on this evening.
Well, I enjoyed being here. I enjoy being part of this contest, which is a unique contest. And one of the things that I liked about it is that you get to engage a lot with the audience, something that even though we have been doing contests online for the last couple of years, this particular one is the one that encourages participants to engage. And some of the participants, they could have done this a little bit more, but overall, most of them did engage with their voices and their gestures, but there are other ways also to engage. And because this is such a unique contest, I do encourage participants to really take advantage of this part and engage a little bit more with different things. We have technology, we have the Zoom features, and I was missing a little bit of that in some of the contestants. Back to you, Chief Judge.
Well, thank you kindly. And just so everybody knows that we will be having a couple more webinar contests coming up. And I'm not sure who the judges are for those contests or if they'll be the same or somebody different, but tonight was a total surprise to me. So I was really excited when I flipped on my Zoom. Now I'd like to say hello to Mr. Nick Laconi.
Thank you, Marianne. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the contestants today. I thought it was a fabulous contest, which is something we expect from online presenters. And just like to say, the year I had as president of online presenters was the best in my Toastmasters career. So I missed the club terribly, and I may be forced to come back. If I can just piggyback on what Fabiola said, just a little bit of feedback to contestants. This is not a speech. So look at, for example, Fabiola mentioned engagement, but for example, call to action is 15% of the vote. Just think about that, yeah? So, but look, this is a unique way of doing things. We do things uniquely in online presenters, and I thought it was a credit to the club. You all a credit to the club. Thank you so much for having me and to make me feel so welcome. I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. I'd like to check in with Jim Gould. Jim, I haven't seen you in a long time, and I think this is the third time I've seen you in a week and a half. Lucky me.
Well, it's good to see everyone. And yeah, a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time. And yes, I've seen you a couple of times. And my club, our club, is on Early Bird Toastmasters. We meet Thursday mornings early. But we just did a presentation for a couple of other clubs. So that was cool.
It's 9 o'clock.
But you guys, yeah, it's really kind of getting past my bedtime this late,
Although I believe you're going to be joining us with Chris next week on how to set up a YouTube channel.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, so you
Should
may
be
want to
fun.
come back for that, guys.
Should be fun. We always have a good time when we do our presentations, and we're always working on it. So that's cool, and it was good to see Sunny Fridge. Goodness gracious, and you know, some folks I see kind of regularly. Andy, yeah, cool stuff. Graham, I've actually visited Graham in Australia and presented at his club. That was fun.
Okay, I'd like to check in with Judge Chris Gould. Give us some of your thoughts and any feedback you might have for our contestants tonight.
Oh, thanks, Marianne. And it was a pleasure to come back, and it was great to see so many faces here. I always learn something. Tonight it was with the new version of the Zoom workplace. There are some weird things going on mine. I took a bunch of screenshots if anybody is curious as to what it was. And I just am always blown away that you can do a workshop in 5 to 7 minutes. I mean, we're doing one for this group next week. We're going to be taking longer than 5 to 7 minutes, okay? Yeah. So everybody actually did it. I was impressed. Back to you.
I would agree. I'm impressed as well. Judge Lillian, can you tell us what you thought tonight? And do you have any feedback?
Yes, I thought this was a fantastic contest. I met David a few years ago when I learned about the online judging software, and I had a session with him and he taught me how to use it for my district. And so I'm a member in 3 clubs in 3 districts. And so I've used the software over and over again. And I love the fact is what Online Presenters is doing tonight with the contest, and the one in January and one in July and the one in August. So I'll probably be back to judge next month. When I saw the post from David on social media, I responded to him right away and said, "Do you need a judge?" Because I knew if David was involved, it was going to be fun. I thoroughly enjoyed the contest.
Yes, well, we're lucky. David is a rock star. He's been taking us on a lot of things, from our website to that software. And I think I just feel lucky to have all those resources available to us. So thanks, Lillian. And Michael Alexander, Dr. Michael Alexander, can you give us your thoughts and feedback this evening?
First of all, it's a wonderful nostalgia trip to be back here and to be working with people who really understand that there is so much more that is available to us online that people miss when they're in person. That's also an important part, but it's not all of it. And if we don't, as Graham said, learn the technology, we stay behind. I saw some wonderful speeches today. I really did. I saw some people I was glad to see again. And I am reminded that the technology offers us chances to do things we don't do in person. We can't do in person. To set highlights, to set tricks, everything else. And it was just such a delight to see that again, to see that done right. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad I came back. Thank you.
Well, nice to see you again. Now, Judge Mark.
Hi, I don't know if you can see me here. My dog is about to go out the door. But this is interesting. David Carr has been an incredible influence on our club, Club Awesome. I've been a member about 5 years. I'm 75 now. I just decided to retire, but I won't retire from Club Awesome. This evening, how it was organized, really impressive. I don't want to repeat myself, but the speeches were incredibly interesting. And I now know why David loves his position with you all. So thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you, Mark. Now, I think that's all the judges. If you're a judge and I didn't call on you, could you raise your hand? Okay, and I'll just want to call upon a couple of the guests that I see. Andrew, what'd you think of the contest tonight? How about you, Mike Walsh?
There we go. Yeah, had to remember how to toggle that mute button on and off. Yeah, I enjoyed every speaker, our contest chair. I've been away for quite a while. I was a member about, I think it might have been 2017, 2018, somewhere in there, but things got busy at work. So yeah, I got an invitation from David, and yeah, I really enjoyed myself. And now I'm thinking I might come back next week to check out that YouTube business as well. So yeah, thank you, everybody.
Well, I actually saw the YouTube presentation at another club, and I have to say, I learned an awful lot in a very short period of time. So it's definitely worth your time. And as far as our contest master, she is going to be our VP of Education in the coming year. So I think we are going to have dynamite going on here. So I think, you know, everyone should come back.
Marianne, I just got back my mic so I could talk to you.
Okay.
I've been a member, I'm one of the members that were the founding charter members of the club. So I've seen its evolution. I've had the benefit of being in the club when Nick was president and David was in his role and what they did. I've had the pleasure of being with the SEAL, Sonny, Sherry. I mean, all the people in the club are dynamic rock stars, Andre, and I see the growth that everybody has had. And it's hard to look at it and say, where more can I go? And you see some of the stellar performances and talks that were given by Graham and Sonny and all the others, that you say, I have a lot more to go. It's not a competition except against yourself, but it's something that I look forward to saying, when someone says, why are you still going to that club? Because you still have room to grow.
Well, thank you, sir. And I have to concur. It's a great place to be.
Just to interrupt for a moment, Marianne, the workshop with Jim and Chris is in fact 2 weeks from tonight. Next week we'll have a regular meeting, and then it's the workshop in 2 weeks, which I'm really looking forward to. I just thought I'd mention that since I'm VP.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep.
And you know, you're all welcome back to that meeting as well. Now,
could we do a picture of our winners? Well, actually just get all of them together on the recording. That way we can edit after the fact to get a picture of everyone. All right, so this is the part where I'm gonna say cheese so that we have that still frame of you guys. Winners! There you go. I know nobody, did anybody print screen? Did we print screen? Yes, maybe. All right, thank you everyone. Marianne, you can go ahead again.
Okay, well, we're beyond our time, but we did have, let me go back to my gallery so I can see everybody again. Zilva, did you have any comments to make?
Oh, hi. This is actually my first time joining the webinar contest. I'm Zilva from Indonesia. So I'm here basically to support one of the contestants, Rosemary. She's a very dedicated member and ex-host from my Club One Country One World. Anyway, this is early morning in my country. It's already Monday, Monday morning. Not Monday, Tuesday morning, sorry. So I'm actually on the office right now. I did enjoy. Congratulations to the officers and contestants, and I'm looking forward to have the July 15th and the following contest, as well as the championship ones. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, and we certainly appreciate your support, and you're always welcome back. I think I've got most of the guests. So if there was anyone who wanted to make any comments or say something at the very end here, now's your time, but I want to thank you all for coming out. And I also want to thank our contestants and congratulate them all for a job very well done. Thank you
Marianne,
so
as
much.
chat monitor, I'd like to remind everybody that they can save the chat. It's got some great pictures, some great links, some great comments. So just save chat.
Good reminder. Good reminder. Okay, well, with that, do we need anything else, Joni?
I think you
that's
get
it.
to adjourn. Yeah.
I think our meeting is adjourned. And again, I hope you all have a wonderful week and we see you next time.
Hello, everyone.